Good morning and welcome to episode 98 of the Dumb Marks podcast. I'm here with Dawn and Jason. How you guys doing today?
Slowly climbing.
Doing good.
Here.
We are climbing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Couple more weeks, getting to triple digits. 2-year anniversary coming up. It's going by fast.
It is. Yeah. Seemed like the 1-year anniversary just happened.
Yeah, really does.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody's week going?
Good. Tiring. Work was really beastly this week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Getting set up for Christmas.
It's the season, right?
Mm-hmm. Always.
That's what I saw this week. We kind of talked in Smash and Trash a few weeks ago about pumpkin spice stuff. People starting to release it. I think it's Krispy Kreme's sometime this month. They're going to start releasing their fall menu. So it's like all the pumpkin spice stuff will be back, like at coffee shops and all that, like within a matter of weeks. It's like,
stop.
It's still summer. Like
everything pumpkin spice is trash anyway. So stop.
I know some of my Halloween friends, they're already beginning to decorate their house for Halloween.
Like, I get it. There's no real holiday between now and Halloween. It's like Labor Day is not like a holiday.
That's
so
I'm about to be that guy. Like, hey, let Labor Day pass first. Can we decorate for Labor Day first?
We get the flags up before I throw the Halloween spider web and everything up. Like, yeah, but I'm the same way. It's like one at a time. Like for me, Halloween starts October 1st. It runs the whole month. It's October, and then November rolls around. Thanksgiving time. Thanksgiving, then you can start Christmas.
See, for me, Halloween starts for me September 1st.
Okay.
For me,
Halloween starts Halloween night. Don't do all. As you can see, I'm not a decorator. I don't do that shit. Not Christmas, none of that. The day of, that's when we celebrate. Shit goes away. We start all over. That's it. There's no Christmas time. It's Christmas Day.
Yeah, I like people that like the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday shopping, and they want the Christmas music on and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, maybe I'll listen to Christmas music the week of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
I don't
not
listen to Christmas music.
Yeah, and Christmas for me starts December 20th. It always starts December 20th for me.
It starts as soon as you play Silent Night by the Temptations. And I haven't heard it in the past 3 years, so Christmas ain't come yet.
Oh, okay. That definitely
has to happen organically. Don't start putting stuff on my feed like, here, listen to this now. Be out nowhere, it just
gotta happen on
the radio.
Yep,
I can't press play. Nobody can press play for me. It has to happen.
I think we talked about it in the past too, that it's like here in Pittsburgh, the official start of Christmas is whenever you see the Eaton Park Christmas tree commercial too. So
nah, not for me. December 20th.
Yeah, it's still August. We don't need to dive too much into Christmas and all the other holidays, but big week in TV. I thought, kind of coming off Comic-Con still with some news. A couple of things that I saw that kind of interested me. See what you guys think of it. Morning, Kenny.
Morning.
How you doing today?
Morning.
Not yet. We'll see if he joins in today.
He may do the run-in. I'm over here tapping X on the button.
He might do the voice of God again this week. Kind of the big TV news that I saw this week that really surprised me was that NBC is moving Days of Our Lives to Peacock this fall. So no more Days of Our Lives on TV. And the past, I'd probably say 10 years, soap operas really have been on the microscope with TV networks and getting canceled, or being, some of them moved to other networks briefly before getting canceled. But Days still gets picked up. To me, and I want to see what you guys think about this. To me, this is kind of like the nail in the coffin for them, because whenever I think of people going onto Peacock, it's not our age group, or it's not someone that might watch daytime TV. It's our age group watching on Peacock. So it's like for the grandmas out there that are watching it during the day, like, are they going to tune into Peacock?
Which button
And I don't know what their audience is. I don't know what the demographics of Dave's audience is these days. So maybe they feel the Peacock is the right move for them, but because they have had some specials on there, so maybe the audience is there. But I don't know. To me, it just seems odd.
Yeah, it does. I remember whenever Passions moved from NBC and their contract got canceled, they got picked up by DirecTV, and basically that was the end of Passions there, because nobody didn't have DirecTV, their video thing at that time, or satellite TV, how it is now with like YouTube and all that stuff. So once they went on there, they lost their whole audience. So I definitely agree with you. Like once they move to a digital app or something like that, that's the beginning of the end.
Is there any more left other than Days?
There's Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and General Hospital.
I mean,
that are still running on TV.
Oh, they're on TV?
Yeah, TV. Yeah.
And this is probably the only one that's on NBC, right? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, that's it. This was the last one.
And they're getting replaced with is what, like the Today Show I saw or something like that?
Probably Today Show, the Fifth Hour, or another talk show, because everybody has a talk show now.
It's not like it's not a syndicated talk show. I know that. It's going to be like one of their shows. It's like, and it just like, is that really going to get more ratings? But
yeah, or like the First Take Fifth Hour, or Get Up Third Hour.
Yeah.
Vince was ahead of a time with the budget cuts. That's all I've been seeing this week. Budget cuts, rebranding.
Yeah, seen a lot of budget cuts.
Yeah,
especially from WB.
So that was the other one. It's like since the Warner Brothers Discovery merger happened, a lot of things are changing. They did officially announce this week, because everybody assumed that once Warner Brothers and Discovery merged, that HBO and Discovery Plus would probably merge together and form like one mega app instead of having two separate apps, like a bundle like Disney does. And it was announced this week that at some point, and I think they're looking at summer 2023 right now, that HBO Max and Discovery Plus will merge together. This September, one of Discovery Plus's kind of like flagships from the launch of it was the Magnolia Network, which I don't watch Discovery Plus, so I don't know what's all on there. But that's going to be on Discovery Plus and HBO Max at the same time. So there's going to be some things that might get incorporated before the official merger next summer. But officially next summer they will merge the two apps together. So they didn't say if there's going to be tiers to it, if it's just going to be one price, anything like that. That's all of that's still to be determined. But with that, Warner Brothers Discovery is canceling a lot of shows, and this has been for a number of weeks now. This isn't anything new, but one of their biggest things that they're starting to cancel are HBO Max original movies. One of them being Batwoman, and that was kind of like the big story this week.
Yeah, they said it was done. It was in post-production.
Yeah,
and they spent $90 million on it and just canned it like that.
Yeah,
like shocking. They said that put shockwaves through like the film industry.
And then I heard they canceled Supergirl too.
Oh, because they were going to be doing the Supergirl movie. So, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me that they're canceling these. Like, either one wasn't anything that I was really super excited about. Me and DC movies as it is right now. So.
it just bothers me. It bothers me because it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm always gonna be like, hey,
it's done. Just throw it out.
I want to see what happened. Like I want to see if it was good or not. Show it to me. I don't want to. Yeah. It's gonna be like the Snyderverse. You only clamoring until they drop it like years later.
So, and with this, I don't know how this works, but somehow they get a tax cut or tax break off of this by eliminating the movie, and that's what they're going with. It's some sort of tax credit. They're
Of course.
canceling it, but with that, because they're getting money back for, I guess, like reimbursing a little bit of the money that they lost, this can never be seen ever. Like it can't ever be sold. It can't be sold to Disney. It can't be sold to another company like to show like this. Like if they get this money for it, it's just they're probably going out back and just burning everything just because no one can ever see it ever again.
Yeah, there'll be that one employee who will have a copy and put it on the internet, and everybody gonna have it. Watch, it will come out. It will. We thought that the Snyder Cut was never gonna come out, but it came out.
Maybe there is a time limit on that too. Maybe they can't release it for X amount of time, but from what I saw, it said they can't release it. They can't put it on streaming. They couldn't sell it to another company to release it because they're getting money back. They can't make money off of it. So.
And for all that, they should have just released it.
I took the money out.
Mm-hmm. If it was going to be like all these, hoops and jumps and stuff, no, just release it. It's done. Like your project is finished. Show it to the people.
But to me, it's like as much as I love DC Comics growing up as a kid because that's what I followed, and we talked about that a little bit last week with the death of Superman. The DC movies just don't entertain me. So I'm sitting there thinking, it's just like, how bad was Batwoman that they just were like, what, fuck it.
It being original, I don't think it'd have been that bad. I don't think you'd have had too many hands in it.
So anything that's an original, you think is going to be?
I mean, original like straight to max.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have high expectations, and then there won't be too many people with their own input and their own liberties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, it was also announced this week that Warner Brothers Discovery is planning on doing another overhaul of the DCEU. So we've had this in the past where, it started, things got a little shaky. They kind of changed up the whole upper office, the writing teams and all that in the past. When it started, they didn't have anybody comic-wise. It was just all movie people working on it. And then they were like, okay, that didn't work. So then they changed and they brought in all comic writers. And then that still didn't fucking work.
So this is try number 3.
We're going to get 3 more Batman movies, huh?
So part of it, like some of it, like what came out of Comic-Con was everybody was a little surprised that Ben Affleck is in the new Aquaman movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seems like the Batman isn't part of the DCEU. Which isn't surprising because that kind of feels more like that Joker universe than it does the DCEU.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have
the movie The Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with Robert Pattinson.
Okay. Yeah. So
it feels like it's by itself.
Yeah, Pattinson won't be Batman in the DCEU. He's just the Batman, and that's it. Just like Joaquin Phoenix is Joker in that, and that's it.
Why does it have to be my favorite universe?
So it's like they did say that they're refocusing. They want to put a better plan in place, and I hate that they reference Marvel whenever they talked about this. They said they want to put a better plan in place to make it more like Marvel. It's like, no, just be your own. Don't focus on what makes their, like, if you want to focus on, like, because like I always talk about that I like Shazam. Like, to me, that's one of my favorite DC movies. And for me, that was one of my favorites because it kind of felt a little Marvel-ish. It gave you a little bit of everything. It gave you the drama, the comedy. It wasn't overly dark like so many, like Man of Steel and some of them. And it's like, okay, it's like it was an entertaining movie after I stopped watching it, and I just don't like whenever they try to be. To me, if they're trying to be like Marvel, this isn't going to work either.
No.
Just like with wrestling, let's say keep your eyes off the competition.
Yeah.
Trailblaze your own path.
Yeah.
Because if you keep looking at the competition, you're never going to complete your objectives, or what you have to do. You're always counter reacting to what the competition is doing.
Yes. And if they just focus on themselves, I think that the DC movies have potential. They have great stories. It's fucking Warner Brothers. Like, how can Warner Brothers not make a good franchise? like they have the resources. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they own, just like, you know, like Disney had to buy Marvel to do these movies. Years ago, Warner Brothers bought DC Comics. So it's not like this is a new venture for them. They've had this in their pocket for years. By now, they should be so much better than what they are. Like, they came out with original Superman in 78. That was a good movie. They came out with Batman, what? Was that 89 or 90?
89.
89. 89. Okay. That was a good movie. Like, you can do it.
Oh, well. We'll see. They said they got a 10-year plan. I don't have 10 years in me to be waiting for them. So,
but you had 10 years for the other one.
Because I was younger then.
They're on a 20-year plan right now. So.
Yeah, I was younger. I'm older now.
Marvel and Comic-Con, they usually release, you know, that phase plan. They were like, you know what, we're gonna give you this plan and the next plan.
Yeah, they did.
Jeez, like I might retire by the time Marvel's phases are done.
Yeah.
You didn't know that whenever they started this whole stuff, that it was gonna be lifelong, you know, entertainment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's everything that I had for TV. Did you guys see anything this week?
I just saw Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be the star of Roadhouse, the remake movie. So they're doing Roadhouse again, and Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be Dalton in it. So we'll see how that goes. Roadhouse is a movie that don't need remade anyway. So
that's such an
iconic. I've never seen it
before.
Roadhouse.
Yeah,
like that just screams 80s.
It does.
Leave the 80s in the 80s.
It does. Like, the movie was perfect enough. It was perfect enough. They don't need that. That's all I saw entertainment wise.
Good. Jason, you got anything? All right, should we get into bell to bell?
Let's go.
All right, busy week in the world of pro wrestling. Last Saturday was SummerSlam. We got together to watch it. What did you guys think?
Love Becky and Bianca. That's probably the match of the night. But I was highly, highly entertained by Roman and Brock.
That's what it was. It was a good WrestleMania or a good SummerSlam, but it was more entertaining than it was, like, you know, for great matches. You had more moments and more entertainment in there. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed it.
Someone asked me the other day, you know, what I thought of it, and I said they hadn't watched it yet. So they go, what should I go back and watch? I was like, honestly, watch the opening match, Bianca and Becky, and watch the outcome of that, and then go right to the main event. I was like, you don't really need to
gloss over everything. Everything in the middle.
For me, that was it. I mean, and I jokingly said after, you know, Bailey returned and we got that segment, I was like, well, we can probably go home, you know, because it's not gonna get better than that. And honestly, for me, it didn't get better than that. You know, it's like I enjoyed the main event, you know, but it's like if I would have stopped right then and there, been like, cool, I'm good. Like I didn't need to go back and really watch much other than the main event.
Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the Logan Paul stuff because Logan Paul looked better in the ring than he did Dominic did in 2 years. So
I saw memes about that this week. It's just like
he got it.
Hold on. I'm a fan now. He did that splash to the table. I'm a fan.
Yes.
Just
Logan
send
Paul.
him. Yeah. If they send him down to NXT and let him develop, I see potential in the kid.
That's not happening. So from what I understand,
Yeah, of course it's not going to happen. Yeah.
So from what I understand, this isn't going to be like Ronda, where Ronda came in and
What's going on?
was on full time. Morning. Ronda came in, was on full time week after week after week after week. Yeah,
you make a good point.
Yeah. It looks like he did his SummerSlam thing, and then he's taking a break because he's going to go train for a fight now, and then he'll probably be back. So my guess is we probably won't see him till Royal Rumble.
The Rumble. That's fine.
I could be wrong. That's not what I saw, but that's just my guess. So
I mean, don't shove it down our throats. So
yeah, he don't need to be on there all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't. Whenever he got signed, I was like, I don't need him. So like that didn't do anything for me. But you saw like he was in Madison Square Garden a couple weeks for Raw, so that was kind of like a picture that went viral. Was he was on one side of MSG for the Raw advertisement, and then his brother had an advertisement on the other side of MSG. So like that was kind of like they were talking about like, oh, the brothers are
co-promotion.
Yeah, both getting promoted here outside MSG. It's like, so I think that's all it's for. They just see some outside promotion getting done for WWE with him. You never know. You never know.
Under Vince, he might have, but not now. But it was good to see Bailey back.
Yeah, so
very good to see Bailey. Yeah, very good to see her back. After Bianca won, Bailey came out, and not only did she come out, Dakota came out, and Io Sky now came out.
They
all caps Io Sky.
Yeah.
EYO. They changed that too. So.
They got to change those stadium entries. I'm tired of the corner one because the bend because it killed everything.
Yeah,
you don't get that moment. You got to wait for them to come around the bend to get the face off. Like that's too much. Give me the straight where you get the surprise straight on the ramp. You don't have to see through the crowd. Over the crowd, it's an EO graphic in the corner. Like, fix the logistics of that. Give me the long
end. The thing I didn't understand about that was it wasn't a sold out stadium. Okay, like you saw the pictures that half of the stadium they just tarped off. So why wouldn't you do a set? Like you could do that. Like you don't have to make it give it that look. But I don't know. I thought there was because I don't like that little set like they used for that they used it last year for SummerSlam. They've used it like Rumble at the baseball stadium too.
Yeah.
Like like you can do better. Like have them come from instead of coming from the dugout, come from the outfield. Build the set
outfield.
Out there.
Yeah. And your throne is like inset in the bleachers.
Yeah.
So you're not getting
so you get lost. Yeah, it gets lost in there.
Yeah.
So like no one really inside the baseball stadium, unless they're on the floor, like right by the entrance, is getting a good view of the stage. So.
And it's not like they didn't do football stadiums before. Look at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
They have the big ramp just come straight out,
Mm-hmm.
so everybody can see.
And I can see not wanting to do a huge stage, for SummerSlam.
The ramp, the budget cuts.
Yeah, it's like I just felt they could have done better on that. But for me, the highlight of SummerSlam was Bailey, Dakota, and Io coming out.
I'm surprised that the people latched on to heel Bailey right away. Not latched on, but it's like she jumped right back into heel Bailey with the fans. Okay. Like I was expecting like a pop, and you got to force her to be heel to get the fans over. Like Becky out. I wasn't expecting it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was expecting not to work with that a little bit. But no, they to it like, she's still heel Bailey.
Okay.
Yeah,
you got a new guy at the top. Got to keep it consistent.
No, but I wasn't expecting fans to latch on. I mean, I knew she was gonna be heel.
Yeah,
I was expecting the fans need to like do some time to turn.
Maybe Monday night or the following Monday to kind of get back into it. Yeah.
When you come back attacking everybody, I don't do it.
And Bailey ended up posting on social media afterwards, doing Janet Jackson's Control lyrics. So there's rumor that the group's going to be called Control, but they haven't really come out and said that or given it a name yet. So we'll see what they're working on. I'm here for it. What they did Monday, I thought was really good. Because for me, at least Monday after SummerSlam, like I watched all 3 hours and I was pretty much entertained for the majority of the show. Like sat there, watched it, and don't know the last time I said that about 3 hours of Monday Night Raw, but was entertained by it. I thought there was a lot of stuff that went on. The different styles of matches, the talent used, I enjoyed. I don't know. People seemed, I don't know if it was because it was the Raw after SummerSlam or if maybe a combination of things, the Raw after SummerSlam. It was also maybe Triple H's first Raw, in Control. People tuned in for it, had the highest ratings since before the pandemic started. So, they reached over that 2 million mark, which for the longest time, that's SmackDown territory, not Raw territory, 2 million people. So
I believe it was H influence that people want to see if anything changed.
You got a question?
Always Dominic. Always Dominic. And I saw this year was his third SummerSlam already.
Already.
Yep. I went back and checked it.
My low was the finish to the SmackDown Women's Championship.
The controversy.
Okay. Yeah, I can get that.
That was my low.
My low was probably Edge's coming out, and that it was like, how many times do we have to see you come out and just do a spear and this and that
in the boots?
I mean, come on. They were like, this is getting like repetitive with him. It really is.
My complaint about that was that it didn't tie in, and I said this on Saturday, it didn't tie in the video packages. So the video packages stopped this week. We didn't see those. So that had to have been for Edge coming back. But they did nothing to show that was going to be Edge. Like I get like not coming out and saying Edge is returning tonight. You don't want to do that. But if they would have just done a brief, like couple second clip before he came out to tie in that video package, then that
they probably did. It was just terrible camera cuts. You heard the music. They probably had someone to jumbo on, and then they cut back after.
That's a good point. So maybe the people in the audience knew, but
Ken, did you have a low, Ken?
Yeah.
So yeah, really, other than I don't know, there wasn't a whole. Like even the tag team match, Usos versus Street Profits, it was good, but I enjoyed their Money in the Bank match better.
Yes, a lot better.
The whole Jeff Jarrett thing really didn't even come into play a whole lot.
Because I was waiting for the guitar the whole time. The whole time.
Yeah, I was definitely expecting shenanigans more than.
They set up my expectations and didn't live up to them.
They did.
Yes, they did.
I think most people.
I enjoy what they did with that. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed what they did with the U.S. title on Monday. At least put some relevancy back to it.
Yeah.
Just not a title just being on and defend it. Have somebody work their way to get it.
So switching over to Raw. Thoughts? Well, you already said you enjoyed Raw.
Yeah.
But thought they announced the women's tag team championship tournament next week. Do you have any expectations for that?
They announced that on SmackDown last night. Didn't announce any of the teams yet. Saying it's going to be a tournament, so definitely the titles are vacated. The two rumored people come back. Doesn't sound like they're going to come back and be the champions. So,
shouldn't.
No.
You got to start fresh.
Yeah, and it's like I was thinking last night. It's like, okay, do they put them in the tournament if they are coming back, or do they do the tournament and then they show up? Say the tournament ends at Clash at the Castle, because who knows when it'll end right now. But say the new champions are crowned at Clash at the Castle. Do Sasha and Naomi come out to Clash at the Castle with replica belts or something? I don't know. We never lost these.
I'd like that better.
Right.
I could play it out like that. But I expect to see EO and maybe EO or Dakota.
And yeah, and that's what I was thinking. It's like whenever they came out, definitely wasn't. As soon as they came out, it's just like, okay, here we go. Now we gotta have trios in WWE. It's like we don't need another set of tag titles here, but it's like, okay, Bayley can be the focus as the champion.
Yeah,
and they could have the tag titles. So
I was hoping they brought up NXT women. Bolster the roster more. With Triple H in charge now. Ain't too much limits.
Maybe on SmackDown. Maybe once Mandy loses, Toxic Attraction will be on SmackDown. Like they used to do, like what they did with who was it? The Riot Squad and I forget the other, when they bought them both up at the same time and one on each show.
Yeah.
You have Bayley's group, who's technically heel. Fans are going to love them, just for who they are, but they're going to be a heel group, like you said. And if you bring Toxic Attraction up, they're a heel group. So yeah, it would make more sense to have one on each show than for both of them to be on Raw together, because they're not going to feud. One of them would have to turn to feud. So yeah, I'd much rather see. That would be good. I mean, I think Bayley could be on any show and be the star of it. So it doesn't matter which program she's on. I think Raw is the better fit for her right now, because I think they are trying to right the ship on Raw more than SmackDown at the moment.
It just feels like Raw has all the power, all the star power.
Well, SmackDown has the network.
Yeah.
And they got Roman. Sad to say, but
But if they want to bring Roman on Raw, they put Roman on Raw. It's like that's part of the thing too. It's like, yes,
it seems like nobody's bound by, it seems like nobody's bound by, a show. Like if they want you to go on the show, they'll put you on the show. Because
definitely the Go Home show was, being in Madison Square Garden, that was all hands on deck, like we talked about last week. Like there wasn't a brand split for that show. It was just okay. Whoever can be here, you're here for that, and that's it.
So what you guys think about the main event? Roman and Brock, and how it will play out with everything that happened last night.
I like the main event. I mean, it definitely got people talking. And I think that's the point of pay-per-views. You're supposed to talk about the show after it, and that got people talking about it. I felt it did job. I didn't love the ending to it. I just felt like it was a slow ending to the point of, it's just, okay, we're gonna hit them and then count. We're gonna hit them, then we're gonna count. We're gonna hit them, and then we're gonna count. It's like, okay, can we do something? Like, can you do something to like make sure the count stays instead of just piling shit on them?
I enjoyed it because it wasn't a Brock match. It wasn't the typical, we're going to get in there and suplex 10 suplexes and then sweat to death.
Everybody was sweating to death last week.
Yeah, then it's pretty finished.
Yeah, it looked like he was having fun. Which we always talk about on here, that when Brock's having fun, so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
We still don't know what the official fallout was, and we probably won't know for a while. The whole situation on SmackDown after Vince retired, the supposed walkout. So maybe things are calmed down. It looked like he was having fun for that show. I did notice a couple of people talked about, he was tipping his hat a few times. Like he did that on SmackDown, and everybody said, okay, he was probably tipping his hat to Vince. People noticed that he was tipping his hat on SmackDown. Everybody kind of thought, well, was that his nod that was his last match? So we don't know.
He can ride off into the sunset for a while.
Yeah. If that was it, I think that's a good match to go out on in a way, because it was an entertaining match. What else is there really for Brock to do? I mean, the only person they have really had for him is Roman. You know, until they set somebody else up, I don't know what else there really is for him.
I don't want to see him and Drew again.
No, that's done and over.
I mean, they hit it towards last Monday, but I don't need it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if he's off until WrestleMania, I'm okay with that. You know, I don't need him coming out for the Rumble.
Go back to just being an attraction and not a week guy.
Yeah. So yeah, if they would set up something for somebody, like, because you have time now, like, okay, whoever they would put him against, I'm not even going to speculate anybody, but you have, you know, August through April to build somebody up now. It's like you have the time, you know, like, don't just throw something together. And I don't know. It was I do know what we were talking about last week is you're definitely going to be getting some Brock action figure with the tractor to purchase that at
Eventually.
So,
Eventually. I like how Theory teased the Money in the Bank, which is perfect. That's good enough for him. That's good enough for me and all that stuff. And I like how they didn't have him on any of the shows this week either.
Rumor was he had a family member pass away. He took the week off, but I think that for what happened at SummerSlam with the tease and him getting F5'd, okay, sell it now. You know?
Yeah. Him getting beat with the briefcase by Roman. Or Roman beating Brock with it. It was like, yeah, that's a good quote unquote, you know, time off.
Yeah. Like I actually would have liked to seen them do a little bit more against him.
Yes, same here.
Because I felt like they kind of like, hit him with a briefcase and that was it. You know, and like he was put to the side pretty quickly. But the tease was exactly what I wanted. So
you want this to be every Monday routine, huh? Where you're just getting beat down by the roster.
No,
but then he'll eventually win it.
Yeah, because if you have him get beat down too much, then it's whenever he does win it, it's gonna be like he's a comical heel and not a serious heel. And I think that was the problem originally with Miz, that he was a comical heel when he first won it all those years ago. That, you know, Miz girl getting angry and everything. It's like you didn't take him serious at that point. You know, it's like even after he won at WrestleMania, it's like you still didn't take him like he was able to beat John Cena at WrestleMania. You know, and as much as I enjoy the Miz. I need a one-on-one street fight between Rhea and Dominic, and her just whoop his ass. That's the one match I need to see of Dominic.
you want a pink slip match?
Yeah. I don't even need a pink slip
match.
Or demoted back to NXT, yellow slip match. Demoted back to NXT, but I just need to see her. Like, I think she had put Dominic in a leg lock in the ring this week, like her legs wrapped around his neck, and then that night on Twitter posted Dominic living everybody's best life out here.
So with what happened at the ending of SmackDown last night, do you think Karrion Kross is going to be the man to knock Roman off eventually?
That all week long, that was the rumor. Karrion Kross is going to return to WWE. I don't think anybody saw being last night.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I was
shocked. I mean, I didn't see him coming at all.
I didn't see those rumors because I'm pretty sure I blocked that name off my pages.
It was. I
did see the spoiler before I watched it though. So
okay. Unfortunately, Steve's not here, and Steve is a big Karrion Kross fan. You know, Steve has liked him before WWE, liked him in NXT, liked him. You know, was trying to be a fan on his main roster build, even though we all know how bad that was. I've never been that Karrion Kross fan. You know, I think he has a look. I think he is okay in the ring. I've just never been 100% sold on him yet. I did enjoy him more in NXT than I enjoyed him on the main roster.
Oh, of course.
I enjoyed him more on the main roster because you're more than just you got to prove you're more than just an entrance and a valet.
And
That's
I'm
true.
And I'm glad all that is back.
Yes. Yeah. As soon as they they did the black and white and all of that, I was cool with that. Don't understand the whole thing why he attacked Drew. He definitely did seem like to attack Drew to stare at Roman. So I guess maybe play like I'm getting this obstacle out of my way because I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scarlett brought in the hourglass, and that Roman's time is coming. It shocked me. It really shocked me that because last night for SmackDown I enjoyed it. Wasn't as good as Raw. I didn't think. I felt Raw was the better show out of the two this week. But I liked that with on Raw they gave a lot of time for the women. It was spread out.
Mm-hmm.
This on SmackDown they gave a lot of time for women. It just was in one chunk.
Yeah.
And so I liked that they did that. And I don't think you'll get that every week because it was a gauntlet match. So I think maybe next week on SmackDown will be more spread out. But I enjoyed the matches for the most part. I enjoyed a lot of the talent that was used. But getting to when Karrion Kross came out, I wasn't expecting that, and it gave something for SmackDown. I felt last night that was a good way to end it.
Yeah, I did like it. They probably put the tea leaves in that Drew's not winning against Roman at Clash at the Castle,
which is fine with me.
Yeah, which is fine with me. But it gives another quote unquote young talent, gives him more of a spotlight because Drew's old news to me, completely old news. So yeah, when he got beat up on, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I'm all for seeing a Cross and Roman match. Definitely interested in seeing that. Wouldn't know who I want to win.
How soon do you give that match, though? I don't want to see it be, because if we're doing Clash of the Castle in September, there's probably going to be a pay-per-view in October.
It can be Great Balls of Fire in
I'll give it that Rumble.
End of September. I don't care.
I'll give Roman and Cross at Rumble because I'm thinking that Drew's going to lose to Roman and Drew and Cross is going to have a little beef after what happened last night. So
yeah, that
should take them into Rumble.
Okay, because Roman's probably not going to be on TV after Clash of the Castle for a brief time. That would at least be my guess, that he'd probably take a little break. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that. That would be it. But then you have to build somebody up to beat Roman just to get beat quickly.
No, I don't see there shouldn't be a transitional champion with both these belts. It being a universal belt.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm taking it. If you win both.
Yeah, that's all.
So
yeah.
there shouldn't be there shouldn't be nothing transitional about that. Whoever wins that needs to
specify.
Yeah, it's one belt.
If you break it up, cool. Transitional champ. That belt just needs to be carried to the next person who is going to carry the company.
Now,
which will be Cody.
There's too much weight. There's too much weight on having two of those belts.
I agree. I 100% agree with you on that. But if you look at history, usually when there's a long reign, and I'm not even saying 2 years, even if there's a year reign, usually there is a very short champion right after that. That's just, I guess, because you had the long reign, they kind of go into it. Now we can go back years and years before that, whenever that's all that you had was long reigns.
Mm-hmm.
But in the modern era of wrestling, if there's a long reign, it's usually a short one. So a transitional champion like Drew, could possibly happen. It's kind of like what we said. Was it Drew that Miz beat when Miz was champion? When Bobby. Miz had money in no, Bobby beat Miz, right?
Yes, Miz beat Drew.
Okay, so Drew kind of had the belt for what, like a year? At that, maybe not even a full year, but it's it was like that. It's like as soon as Drew lost, I was like, okay, Miz is going to be that transitional champion, and then that's what happened. Like
Yeah, they instantly lost it to
brief
thing.
time, then Bobby beat him for it. So we could see that, but I agree with you, Jason. If you're gonna have, if it's gonna be for these two belts that you are, you know, or if they make an undisputed championship out of this, you know, like they did in the past, it should be you're the guy, you know, and move forward with that.
And what do you consider transitional? How short?
A month.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay.
It could go longer, but
yeah, no.
It's not like 6 months as a transitional champion.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, back in the day, I'd probably say 3 months could still be a transitional champion because you only had quarterly events.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like you won the title at that pay-per-view and then you lost at the next pay-per-view. And that was kind of a transitional champion too.
And even if you put it on Drew, don't make it transitional. Make it till maybe Rumble.
Okay.
Hold on to it for a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did like that question. The thing I'm here for, out of whatever they decide to do with Roman and Karrion, can you imagine what we're going to see out of Paul and Scarlett? Not that Scarlett's, you know, great promo work by any means. You know, like she goes on the mic and she does her job.
Yeah, she does enough.
Whatever theatric she's going to do to Paul's mic skills, that's what I'm. Because, you know, like just seeing her, his eyes are going to be bulging out, and then she's going to do some crazy shit, and that's just going to throw him off. And it's like that's going to be what sells it, I think, more than anything, is the two of them than the actual fighters of the match.
But for that title, that all leads to Cody winning that Mania. So they got a couple months to play around with that before they eventually with him.
Do you see Universal staying that way till Mania?
Plans could change. Plans have things. It's a whole different, you know, era now. So whatever Cody's plans were, not saying that it's going to be completely forgotten.
Ciampa get a win, and it's a whole new era now.
I said this last night. You know, it's like just seeing this week on Raw and SmackDown. For people that were black and gold fans, you know, you were black and gold NXT fans, and the whole reason that you were supposed to buy into NXT was that you were watching the future stars of tomorrow. And that you were watching NXT, and that these people were supposed to be brought up to Raw and SmackDown as the characters that you were seeing. And there was just, unfortunately, so much miscommunication between Vince and Triple H in, you know, the future stars of tomorrow to main roster stars. Because whatever Triple H saw, Vince just didn't see in a lot of them and put the effort in like Triple H put in. And, you know, we always felt down to a point when we just didn't want to see a lot of NXT talent get moved to Raw and SmackDown because we liked them so much on NXT that being that third brand, and you had seen like Ciampa and Gargano say, we don't want to go to Raw or SmackDown. We want to stay in NXT. You heard that from Adam Cole. And I think this week kind of was just like that whole Marvel thing. It's all connected. You know, and if you followed the black and gold era, you're finally getting the payoff from that. At least that's.
And they're talking about, and then they were talking about their title reigns also too from NXT.
Yes,
which was different. Yeah, like from anybody who was down there during black and gold, they actually like refer to them like, oh, they were so and so many time champ. You know,
and I don't need NXT to be a third brand. I'm okay with it being developmental again, you know, and it just being the developmental for the future stars of Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, it needs to connect, and hopefully it does from now on. At least,
yeah, keep the continuity going.
Yeah, like you got Ciampa this week, which came out of nowhere. I felt, but I was here for it.
I was expecting him and Ali. with the
Yeah,
new,
that would have been a good match. Yeah. Everybody was talking about Ali getting time. Everybody talking about Ricochet getting time on SmackDown this week.
We got a
Shayna
lot of
getting
time. Yeah.
Shayna finally getting a title match. And so let's go into Shayna for a second, because I'm excited for Shayna to finally get a little bit of spotlight put on her. Do you see Liv Morgan beating Shayna? Because
this is my prediction for New Year's. Belt on Shayna. I'm sticking with
okay
it.
with that.
I'm sticking with it.
I'm okay with it too. I think Liv's done her job as champ. I mean, I know she's getting real pops from the crowd, you know.
I'm mad they turned on her.
So you had last night, or not last night, but this week with her, you know, the whole thing of Ronda's, you know, everybody going into it was like, you really going to have Liv Morgan beat Ronda? You know, and technically she didn't. You know, it was shenanigans.
Yeah.
And okay, it was what it was. That's our way to move past it. Ronda has her time off now for a little bit, and then we'll probably come back. It's like, but do you, seeing as in a way she technically beat Ronda, do you have Liv be the person that beats two legit fighters back to back? And I don't think Liv is that. Liv's good, but she's not that.
Do you think the fans turned on her or the booking?
I think they turned on the booking.
Okay. Because it was weird. She got the pop coming out
Mm-hmm.
and then got booed to hell.
Yeah. We'll see this upcoming week.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes,
but that crowd was just energetic for anything. So
yeah.
Where were they at last night? You know?
Greenville, South Carolina.
So South Carolina is a wrestling territory, you know, NWA, WCW territory there, but definitely not. Like,
I heard a Ricochet chant last night, and I was like, this crowd is on something.
Yeah.
I don't see her taking the belt off Shayna. Or I don't see her beating Shayna.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here for Shayna.
Quick one and done.
Because I definitely see Shayna's more that, because they're going to be in the UK, so Shayna is more of that style wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that brawler that the UK loves. So I think, to me, that's the perfect spot for her to get the belt. You know, maybe other than being in her hometown or something like that, or being in Vegas. I don't even know where Shayna's exactly from, but, you know, we'll say Vegas just because of UFC background. Other than something like that, yeah, I think this is the perfect place.
There you go. Yeah,
okay.
Sioux Falls. And then if she wins the title, Ronda comes back. You have two best friends.
Yeah, and we've never seen that yet.
They kept teasing it, but they always get to pull apart or something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let that play out.
We never saw, you know, I think two of the UFC 4 horsewomen are gone, right?
Yeah.
It's just Shayna and Ronda left in the system. So maybe they come back. Unfortunately, no, that won't be. They did tape the finals at the last taping, so that's unfortunately already done. I think if that would have been planned just a little bit better, I would have liked to seen the UK Championship tournament get crowned there too. I was a little disappointed last night that Nakamura won his number one contendership match. You know, for I was going to say Walter,
you're right.
And it's going to be on SmackDown next week. It's like that's a perfect UK match.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something happens and then they do a rematch at Clash of the Castle. But
you probably get a rematch. They won't leave Gunther off the card.
Yeah, because Shinsuke and Gunther. I mean, that's perfect for Clash of the Castle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I think Triple H booking this, you might see that develop that style of matches for that event more.
Especially with Gunther going back over there to the UK.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I thought, and I don't know, was, you know, Gunther and Shinsuke aren't from the US. They work here. And I don't know what work visas, if that allows constant travel.
Gotcha.
That's the one thing that I thought last night, that maybe that's why they're not going to fight over there. But to me, that match says, you know, screams Clash of the Castle for that event. But
Yeah.
we'll see next week. I didn't watch NXT this week, so I don't know if anything's really changed on that this week. If it's still the same. Did you guys watch NXT at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got tag champions crown.
Yeah, new tag champs.
Yeah.
Finally, Caden and Casey, which they should have saved for Heat Wave.
Yeah.
Moment.
Mm-hmm. If that, they should have saved for the main event.
The following week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're finally tag champs, which everybody was happy to see. Finally,
I was expecting them to lose and them to be next up on the main roster. I guess they would give them some more run.
Mm-hmm. You had that. You had the main event was Von Wagner and Sikoa, and what is a false count anywhere match?
I don't know. It took me like 3 days to finish that match.
Wow.
I kept nodding in and out.
You had that.
Not
You had
good,
Casey
or
fighting.
Hmm?
It was
It
all
wasn't
right.
good.
No,
Just too long, or
I don't know. I feel like once the women won, like my attention for NXT was just like, the moment happened for me, and the rest was just filler. So it was just like, do I really want to watch this? Let me find something else to do. You know, kept on.
I think in a way, and we'll see, but I think in a way that NXT might be the one that needs to get righted. It might take a little bit longer to get that ship righted more than the main roster was.
Mm-hmm.
Because Triple H really hasn't been down there, you know, focusing on this talent for too long. So,
I mean, trust me, I'm enjoying it, but I guess it's just since the moment happened for me that I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
It
just went downhill.
Yeah, if you'd have like build up to that, it'd have been a different show for me. Yeah,
I mean, you started off saying that you thought that it should have been the main event. So
yes, this should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everything else was just as normal. The things. Santos came back.
so,
Yeah, him and D'Angelo's going to fight next week.
One more time.
One more time. Mm-hmm.
we're still doing that storyline.
Still.
How long has that been going on? That had to have been going on longer than Kingston and Jericho.
I feel like they're kind of toning down Tony a little bit, which is good for me because it's just too much character, too much So maybe I don't know.
Then Roxanne challenged Cora to a fight at Heatwave.
Okay.
That needs to wait.
That needs to wait. Yeah, I think they should have burned that more before fighting next week. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't. Because Cora says she don't want the match.
This Tuesday or is it the following Tuesday?
I think it's this Tuesday.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But then, who is it? Breaker and JD McDonough sat down.
I tapped out there.
Oh, yeah.
I physically tapped out.
It was good.
Cobra Clutch. I was like,
because they just talked.
Who's
like
JD McDonough?
That's Devlin. That's Devlin.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Jordan
Devlin
McDonough.
Tell me that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it did nothing for anybody there. Nothing.
Yeah. It's just that program. It's just down the dumps for me.
But
The main title, yeah.
It's not a match I want to see. You know, because Breaker and Devlin are not. They're complete opposites. You know, I don't know how that match is going to work because there's not a lot of similarities in their style, other than power versus quick. You know, Sometimes you can have interesting with that, but I don't know. Shawn and Triple H are very high on Devlin. You know, you saw that right. Devlin kind of got his push right before the pandemic. You know, Worlds Collide. He got the Cruiserweight Championship, and then unfortunately the pandemic ruined any momentum he really had on that.
I enjoy him. It's just how they built this.
Okay.
It's just or whatever character he's working now is just not. It's the character
Everything working around the shoulder.
yeah.
I've said this a few weeks ago. Now, I haven't watched NXT a lot. I only chime in from a little bit here and there, but I've lost any interest in Braun down in NXT.
Yeah.
I like it that they're not shoving you down his throat, or they're not shoving you down, they're shoving him down your throat, but he's not doing enough when he's on screen to keep you caring.
Yeah. It seems like that fire is burning out.
Yeah. Because when he was a Rocket, I'm like, okay, this is too much Braun, too much Braun. They spaced it out, but now he's not doing enough, like storyline wise, to just keep you caring.
But this is kind of one of the good things about developmental sometimes. It proves people's weaknesses. You can when he debuted, even before he debuted, whenever he got signed, everybody was just like, this dude has potential. He has the look, he has the athleticism. And then he came in, everybody's like, okay, cool. But this is why I think sometimes WWE needs to listen to the fans. It's a catch-22 in a way, because we sit there and we hype them up beforehand. Sometimes it was the same thing kind of with Roman in the Shield. It was like, he's the next guy, and then you give it, and then it's just like, okay, he wasn't what we thought he was going to be. In a way, and some things. And Braun to me is more so than what Roman by any means. I'm not trying to really compare them, but
to me, I don't think it's him. Like I believe he's lived up to the hype. I like his in ring. I even like when he's out there cutting promos. It's just a story they're telling with him. You put him with Gacy, and that's just a snore fest altogether. Then you're with another slow talking guy that does nothing in Devlin, who's giving terrible segments. You just don't care about the story at all.
No. He's one of the reasons why I don't watch NXT. Because Braun. Yeah, okay. Because it's not that I don't want to watch NXT. I just don't want to get too bored with him in NXT and over him that whenever they bring him up on the main roster, I'm already over it and not invested. So it's like, in a way, for right now, I'd rather wait and see him come up and see what they do with him if they give him a new fresh coat of paint or something, on the main roster.
There's nobody to
I think there needs to be more edge.
He needs what?
I think he needs more edge.
Okay.
Not Adam.
You mean the bark is not edgy enough?
The bark is nostalgic. That's about it.
I think hopefully the NXT a la WWF 1995 era will go away. And
I'm loving the characters, but it's
Gacy's character is killing me.
He kills every segment he's in for me.
It kills,
and then ruins everything he touches. Like, I don't care about the people he's fighting now. Like,
like he's trying to get Grimes. Basically, he's trying to get Grimes like under his hand, and it's just killing Grimes.
Gacy's the cult dude.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I've never been interested in him as a wrestler. When he was with Parker Boudoir, I was like, okay, manager, heavy, and then they were pushing him as the talent instead of Parker. Just like
it was the opposite.
Yeah, like
I don't mind his wrestling. It's just his character just does nothing for me.
Yeah, everything with him. Like,
people chant like we want wrestling when he's talking. Like, they're not buying into it. Give him something else.
I haven't bought into him other than him being a manager.
I
haven't been able to buy into the character or his in-ring talent at all from what I've watched.
Well, that's about it for NXT.
Let's head over to real quick before we head over to AEW. We briefly talked about this, the NXT Championship Tournament. So NXT UK is about a month. They taped the beginning. I think it was like around July 4th. They taped, so they're about a month off from TV. So they announced this week. Ilya Dragunov came out, relinquished the title. So the NXT UK Championship is vacated at the moment. There's going to be an 8-man tournament, and it looks like this is going to go over a few weeks. And to the point that we saw earlier that it should have been the finals at Clash of the Castle. This will wrap up at some point. No word yet how long this is going to take. So it looks like they might spread out some of these matches for a few weeks. We have in the first round Oliver Carter versus Charlie Dempsey, Wolfgang versus Trent Seven, former NXT UK champion Tyler Bate versus Kenny Williams, and Joe Coffey versus Mark Andrews. So quick 8-man tournament. This I think should probably take place over a month. We'll see how quick it does go, if it goes any longer. But at that taping, a new champion was crowned, so that's why it won't take place at Clash of the Castle. We just won't get into that. Interesting. I didn't go back. Ela fought 2 weeks ago in a title match, so I do want to go back and watch that because that's apparently where he got injured. So I want to see how that played off, and then I'd like to watch the tournament play off the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So could be some actually legit good wrestling on NXT UK.
Always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Always.
So land of AEW. I watched both shows this week, Dynamite and Rampage.
Same.
I didn't watch Dynamite. I watched Rampage.
Okay.
Yeah. So you guys have to fill me in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of went in already wrestling fatigued into Dynamite. So I
watched 3 hours of Raw and you're
watch SummerSlam, watch 3 hours of Raw, and I was just like, all right. I was like, I'm a little fatigued from WWE this week, which is one of the reasons why I didn't want to watch Rampage last night. I wasn't even debating whether I was going to watch SmackDown last night, but I'm glad I did. But it's like, I don't know. I went into Dynamite going like, I don't want to watch this because coming off the week before, wasn't real happy with some things, and I don't know. Like by the end of the night, I guess in a way, like I didn't completely hate the show, but at the same time, did I love it? No. Like, definitely wasn't my favorite show of the week, and I usually have said in the past that even if I don't love AEW, it's usually my favorite show from the week, but it wasn't that case this week. What do you guys think?
Then this wasn't Quake at the Wake, was it? Quake at
No.
That's next week.
That's just coming. Yeah, that's next week. If for me, everybody knows my stance with AEW now. It was okay. Just okay. I mean,
let it fester.
Jason, we might be I don't know about Steve, but I know you might have two people on your side now.
It's just the Yuta Jericho match was all right. It's just the booking of it is just terrible. Like, that Jericho wasn't going to lose at all. So I don't even know why they even had that match. It just seemed like feeding Hogan just more people to feed.
Yeah.
Because, again, the graphic was made for Quake at the Lake, and they're not going to stop that match.
Yeah.
So I didn't even see the point of even having that Yuta match at all.
100% agree.
Did it make you to look good?
He's had better matches that made him look better.
Okay.
And then at the end, of course, Moxley comes running out because Jericho had the lion tamer on him, way past the bell, and had refs trying to pull him off. Moxley came in, Jericho ran out the ring, and he had to grab a mic, like he always does. And he was like, "Do you want the last Survivor Stu Hart's dungeon?" He was like, "Well, you get the Lionheart next week. You get the Lionheart, Chris Jericho." So, Chris, they might be doing what you were saying, just running through all of Jericho's gimmicks before he finally give it up. because this is like what, the third or fourth one that we're seeing in a month.
Yeah. It's like, we'll see what happens after this. But, I kind of felt like,
can we get Y2J?
You got Y2J. You got the list of Jericho to go. You need corporate Jericho still.
Jericho. It's in corporate Jericho in a while. Is corporate Jericho the one that's on commentary?
No, that's the Wizard. It's just
like, because I just kind of felt like the sports entertainer is, it's not Y2J, but anything, but it's I just feel like that's him kind of throwing back to WWE
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like now he's doing the other gimmicks with it. I hate the JAS. I just it's a waste of time for me each week. And I've said from the inception, I don't enjoy it, but I'm here to see, you know, the story that goes along with it, because maybe at some point I will enjoy it. Maybe it'll finally click at some point for me, or, you know, we'll get to that payoff for the group, but it hasn't happened yet.
Well, and then the other big thing that came out was Cole and Red Dragon turned on the Bucks.
That was probably my highlight for Dynamite.
It wasn't even a highlight because everybody's seen at a mile, like Cody coming to Mania, so that wasn't new.
So is this the turns in AEW? Is this an AEW thing, or is it the times that it's not clicking anymore? Like just the turns, you're expecting them now. Because like Hogan,
you didn't expect
Hogan, HBK, Rollins, all those caught you off guard. Is it us now that we're like we're predicting too much, or they're just not telling the stories good anymore? Because I haven't seen a turn on AEW that's interests me. Like shocking, like how could this happen?
I think because they tease it. Like Hobbs, I didn't see coming. I didn't see Hobbs turning on Starks at all.
Yeah,
true.
That came out of nowhere. Christian, they teased that for a month or more. You know, if you don't want, like, and we've talked about this before, if you don't watch the YouTube shows like Dark, Elevation, Being the Elite, BT, Sammy's vlog, and there's probably even others that I don't watch on there, but if you don't watch those consistently, which are to tie in storylines for AEW, maybe you didn't see the turn coming for Adam Cole.
I can't tell you the last time I seen the Bucks on TV, and I see this coming.
But at the same token, you know, they've been teasing that on BTE for a few weeks now.
Okay.
And then they did tease it on Dynamite last week. You know, so you got your main show acknowledgement last week of it, and then you saw it coming. The weird thing, and we talked, like, Steve stamped that last week, you know, that it was going to be Adam Cole's Undisputed Elite versus you know, whether I know, like, Excalibur called Hangman and the Young Bucks the Elite this week. Are we seeing the return of the Elite? But then they also acknowledged a past name that they went whenever they were a six-man tag champion in Ring of Honor as the Hung Bucks. So it's like, not sure what direction they're going with the names, but you know, Adam Cole came out and said that, you know, the Undisputed Elite can't compete in this tournament. You know, and I know that was Steve's thing, that was going to be the final match, that, you know, you were going to see those two teams in there. Was that legit, or was that just a tease to get the setup? And then next week or something, we're going to find out that they're going to compete in this tournament. What do you guys think?
They'll probably be in it.
He said he's not.
Are they all medically cleared?
Cole said
he's not cleared and Fish isn't cleared, right? Or was it Fish or O'Reilly that's not cleared?
O'Reilly's
not cleared. Okay.
Fish is the only one healthy out of them, like really legit healthy.
So that was Cole's thing. He said to the Young Bucks, you know,
you have to team with Thing. You have to team with Fish.
Team with Fish. If not, you can't compete in this tournament. So,
and then he was like, "You're not going to compete." And then that's when the Red Dragon choked out Young Bucks.
Okay,
and that's when the turn happened. Yeah.
And then Hangman came out. So that right there, that was the only thing I was interested in, pretty much, for the most part, on Dynamite. And like you said, you saw it coming,
Chris?
it was still real to that kid. I was here for that. Okay, if I got the kid invested, I'm here for that.
His dad promised him the New Day. He got the
Elite. Dad was like, "We have New Day at home."
No, I wasn't even invested in that. It was like whenever it came on, I was like, "This is the turn." So
yeah,
yeah, I was not invested whatsoever.
But for me, I mean, and we have talked about this in the past too, that even if you see it coming, it can still be entertaining. Not that it was the best segment ever, because it wasn't. It was just for that show. I was entertained by that segment. Even though you knew it was coming, I was still entertained by it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for the spontaneous, unexpected, no, it didn't have that. The only thing I was saying this to somebody else this week. You knew it was coming, but we had talked before that these trios titles were coming in when Kenny was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the plan, was Kenny and the Young Bucks to win them.
Yeah.
So to me, I was, with everything that I've seen the past few weeks, I was 99.9% sure Hangman was coming out to reunite with the Young Bucks so they could go into this tournament. But at the same time, I was like, well, maybe there is that 0.01% chance that Kenny returns tonight. It happened how I wanted it to happen, but you never know. Sometimes in pro wrestling.
Yeah. But one match I did enjoy was Britt and Hayter against Thunderstorm. Yeah, I did enjoy that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jamie finally getting her due.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. We'll go through Battle of the Bell predictions in a few minutes. Last night, good.
Oh, the one thing I didn't like was the Jungle Boy Christian stuff. Like they have Jungle Boy like running off of that, like trying to mow him down with a car and this and that. Like that's WWE Dean Ambrose stuff to me. Like all that. Like I do not need to see. It was like I do not need to see that at all.
Honestly, if I would have watched Dynamite on tape delay, like to DVR it and go back and fast forward through some stuff, I would 100% fast forward through Christian versus Matt Hardy. That was an awful match. I've seen that how many times in my lifetime. I don't need to see it again at their age because it was it was awful.
It was great.
Yeah,
because everybody wanted those. Everybody wants Christian. Everybody wants Matt Hardy.
You could, for me, and sometimes it's hard to tell, but to me, it just felt like Matt Hardy has lost such a big step in his talent that I was after that match, I was like, if I don't need to see another Matt Hardy match again.
To me, you got Marty Jannetty's going at it.
I'm not going to doubt you there whatsoever.
I feel on Matt Hardy.
I think Christian has more talent.
Yeah.
And I think Christian still has talent. Like I didn't have that moment yet with Christian that I don't need to see him in the ring. But at the same time, I enjoyed him more as a manager recently than an in-ring talent. And I think and to Donald's point of your company that's constantly saying that you're trying to push young talent. And don't get me wrong, this whole storyline is to push a young talent, being Jungle Boy. This isn't, yes, it's coming off like Christian's getting over, but the whole point of the story is to put Jungle Boy over. And we'll get to that point whenever it does. But after this is over with, I don't need to see Christian be a single star any longer. Like, you play this off, let him, I don't know. He had his moment last summer as Impact champion. Whenever he won that belt back from Kenny, it's like he had his final moment to me. It's like it's time to wrap up. Like, be a backstage producer, be a manager for somebody younger, and you can be on TV. We've talked recently. We enjoy his mic work. You can be on TV and do mic work. I just don't need you to be taking time from somebody else in the ring each week. And that's what Christian and Matt Hardy did for me this week. They just took off time from people that deserved it.
Yeah. That was fan service. That was fan service by the fan service booker. Who thinks he's Vince McMahon, but he's actually Vince Russo.
I don't even know if it was fan service. Because as a fan, I didn't want that match. You know, maybe there are some fans that wanted it.
Fans in the stands wanted that match. Yeah. Cody was the Vince McMahon down there booking.
And that was so we've talked about WWE changes. There were some AEW changes this week.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like
a writing team.
There's possibly going to be some changes in AEW. Maybe they, we'll see why. You know, maybe it's because fans talking about it for a few weeks, or is this okay? Like, we need to write our ship now because we've gotten a little too lax. You know, like, and coming off of it, you know, they hired, and we'll get into Rampage with this. They hired Madison Rayne to be part of the women's division, so she's kind of going to be one of the people that's head of the women's division now. And me personally, in TNA, I like Madison Rayne as a character, like what she did with the Beautiful People and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Was never a huge fan of her in-ring work.
Yeah,
you know, like she did her job. Don't get me wrong, she did her job, but the character for me was always better than the in-ring work.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed her match last night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she did a good. You can they communicate a little too much. You could.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that you could tell the communication that the two of them were having in the ring, but they had a good match out of it.
Yeah.
It made both of them look good, and I felt she did her job. You know, you got the payoff after it where Jade Cargill comes out and they're going to have a match this Wednesday. If Madison Rayne can make Jade look stronger than what she is and look a little bit better in the ring than what she has, I'm here for it because Madison isn't winning.
Yeah, well,
so
put the belt on a legend.
It's just another, to me, for somebody like Jade, who they've talked about, like Brian Danielson working with her to improve her in-ring work, and now you have another woman coming in to help out in the ring. That's exactly what you need. And I don't need Madison on my TV each week, don't get me wrong, but if she focuses more backstage than on camera, that's where she needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe like another Serena Deeb in the company. Not that she's on Serena's level by any means, but just another person that can help teach the women and go out in the ring and do it with them.
So Deeb is a coach there too.
She was.
Yeah, I don't exactly. That wasn't why she came in originally. She came in as talent.
Yeah,
but she's Serena Deeb. She has that coaching experience, and
because I knew she was producing in the back because she likes doing the back, like behind the curtain stuff a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh, then you had your Eddie Kingston promo, even though it was a backstage one. Had to get him in there sometime.
On Rampage?
Not Rampage, Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
He was talking about Sammy, yeah.
I think I even missed that on Dynamite, which I'm cool with.
Just another hoot and holler, and that's all it was.
Yeah. The tag match was what it was. To main event. Rampage.
On Rampage? Yeah.
I didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was a good match, but
I went into it shitty because as soon as they said street match or street fight, I'm tired of street fights.
Yeah.
But I was okay with the match.
The thing I hated about it, and it wasn't even in the match, it was after the match. You have that big spot of Keith Lee going through the table. Josh Woods suplexes Keith Lee through the two tables.
Yeah.
And then Swerve goes in, puts Tony Nese on the chair. Swerve hits the coup de grace or the stomp, whatever he calls it, and wins the match. Swerve, they get the belts. Who's in the ring celebrating with Swerve but Keith Lee? And I know you guys didn't see it because it won overtime. But it's like you just had him go through the two tables selling that spot. And then he gets up and goes into the ring to celebrate. Like that.
Well, Woods is still out.
Yeah, and they didn't show that area, so they didn't show like Josh Woods still laying in the table or anything. Because that's what I was expecting. Like, okay, if Josh is still in the table and they had Keith get up, but it's like you could have had and they did it for the whole sense of Swerve and Lee in the ring celebrating to sign off. you could have done that. You could have still had that, but you could have had Swerve take the titles, go out,
to him,
check on Lee, and then get him up, and then go off. You know, with him dazed and confused. He wasn't dazed and confused celebrating in the ring. You know, it's like and we've talked about that numerous times. That is a big issue in AEW where they just don't sell shit. They don't let it breathe. You know, to me it would have been no different if Josh Woods would have put him through the table and Lee would have just rolled and got back up. There's no difference because there wasn't enough of a sell job.
Yeah.
Like, and I
had this conversation from Woods, putting him through the table.
Yeah. And I had this conversation with somebody else this week. It's like, don't give me a spot just to be a spot.
Yeah.
Like let it breathe. And that's hopefully, and we were talking with the new team in AEW as well. Maybe things will change with that, but it's not going to be something that you definitely see overnight on everything. But that needs to be something that, especially whenever Ring of Honor gets its own programming, if that happens, that they need to let things, you take talent out so you have things to let breathe, and come back from a commercial break and talk about what just happened or something, instead of just you have to move on because you have ADD. And
I really like seeing that New Japan kid. I don't know his name yet, but I'm gonna probably butcher it. I'm not going to attempt it. But, who fought?
The one who fought Moxley?
No.
Yeah.
Did he fight him already? Ziggler's. He fought Ziggler's little brother.
Yeah.
Ziggler's brother because he's
nickname. I don't know if that's what he goes by, but yeah, they fought last night.
Yeah.
Which surprised me because he's wrestling on Battle of the Belts tonight, and they taped Battle of the Belts last night, so he had 2 matches last night.
So he's the one fighting Cesaro, right?
Yeah.
Claudio, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I really want to see that match. I like that kid.
Okay, so while we're talking about that, let's get into. We'll go through this quickly. There's 3 matches for Battle of the Belts tonight. It's only Battle of the Belts usually just an hour program, so we'll just try to get in and give our quick hits and see what we think for the predictions. We'll start out with the AEW TNT Championship. We have champion Wardlow versus Jay Lethal. What are you guys' thoughts on this match?
Belt's going nowhere.
Yeah. I don't even know why this is even a match.
It's a battle to retain, or a battle retains. It ain't even.
Wardlow.
Nobody's losing.
Nobody's losing? Is that what you said?
I don't think anybody's losing.
Wardlow for the win.
Yeah, Wardlow's going to win.
Yeah, it's Jay Lethal deserves better than this match. Yeah. I think all this is for Jay Lethal to put Wardlow over more than anything. But yeah, I'd be surprised if Wardlow's not losing.
Has Wardlow been on TV since he won?
Yeah.
2 times.
He hasn't been on the past 2 weeks though.
Yeah, not wrestling, but
I seen him cut a promo from somewhere, and that was it.
Yeah.
Wasn't his last match Orange Cassidy 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
it. AEW Women's World Championship. We have Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter.
If this were a different pay-per-view, I'd say Hayter. But to be on a Saturday, it's Thunder Rosa. To me, Hayter has a future.
Yeah. I love Jamie Hayter. Probably my favorite. Next to Deep, probably like my favorite woman in AEW. I like to see her win, but I know it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Thunder.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see a change here too, because Jamie Hayter hasn't got the build up to be champion. To warrant a change. But I will say, I'm over the Thunder Rosa reign. I was thinking about that this week. It's just like, yeah, the match was good, Donald, this week, the tag match. To me, I see Thunderstorm breaking up, and that be where Thunder Rosa drops the belt, that she's going to drop the Tony. I don't know if I necessarily need to see that, but that's what I see happening, and if that can happen at All Out, I'd much rather have that happen sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the women's division needs some injection of life.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, while Thunder Rosa is a great wrestler and a great talent, they're just not doing that with her right now. And I don't know if that, to me, I think that some sort of change needs to happen.
But do you have anybody that can carry that other than Britt Baker?
Jade can, but she's the TBS champion.
Yeah, I mean, Jade's the only one giving it to you, right? Jade's giving you more than Thunder is, I think. I feel.
That's why I always said the TBS title is overshadowing the women's title.
Yeah.
They're not giving people. I mean, nobody there can cut a promo.
Yeah, but it's like Jade is what she is.
I see,
but you're not seeing a great match or anything like that. You're more, at least for me, I'm more entertained by Jade more than I am by Jade's matches.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So, and I
what
think
she did on Rampage, I enjoyed just her coming on and talking.
Yeah, her backstage stuff with the baddies generally, is good. But Jade for me is still learning and growing, so it's going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping by the time they give her the actual women's championship belt, not the TBS championship, she's there. So whether she's TBS champion for another year or whatever, until that happens, but I don't. There's not a whole lot that I feel that can take that belt off of Jade right now.
No,
just for her strength. All right, and then finally we got Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Championship versus.
You're gonna butcher it too.
Yeah. The guy we like.
Konosuke
Tashiko.
Thank you, Donald.
Take a shot.
Claudio just won. Claudio's not losing the title.
Yeah, he's not. I'm interested in seeing this match though. I like that new kid, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. I think this will be a great wrestling match.
I think this is definitely on this card is going to probably be the match of the night.
Is this a week-long event?
No, this is just tonight.
No, just tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Battle of the Belts is just one special, but generally for Battle of the Belts week, they do title matches, so that's why you're seeing so many of the title match. Like last night, you got the tag title match.
Oh, the title's on the line. I didn't even know that.
3 title matches.
All 3 titles on the line. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 3rd Battle of the Belts. Come on now.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I knew the Battle of the Belts. I didn't know the Rampage tag.
Yeah, those.
Gotcha.
I didn't know the tag match was for the belts.
Yeah, last night was for the titles, and then
Yeah.
like Moxley defending the title this upcoming week, so that's why they do that. Then Jade's defending the TBS title this week too. So
Don't tell me that Warner, but that Warner guy was getting a title shot.
No, that was an eliminator. So if he beat him, he got a title shot.
yes,
Oh, okay.
It don't speak of that match.
Hey, you get it. How you give new guys that much time with your champion?
Fan service.
it was they explained that on Dynamite that he got he won that battle royal or
He won the battle royal, Ric Flair's thing.
Yeah,
He won the battle royal, but you going like half the show
yeah.
with a guy that just came in. No, you should
Who
destroy
I've
this
never
match
watched before. Never heard of him. Never watched him before. So
I didn't know who he was until I saw that he was fighting him. No, who's this guy? Mm-hmm.
that's all I have for wrestling this week. Anything else that you guys wanted to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's drink a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, this week's drink of week is Ellicottville Brewing Company's Bourbon Barrel-Aged Blueberry Maple Pancake. That has a lot to say in one thing. It is an ale brewed with blueberries, maple syrup, and aged in bourbon barrels. They have a little thing here. It's supposed to be reminiscent of a northeastern pancake breakfast, wheat ale with locally sourced grade A maple syrup and fruity blueberry flavor. And this is coming in at 7.5% alcohol, which you're getting a little bit more of the alcohol because of the bourbon barrels.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's a northeastern pancake breakfast?
Getting that fresh maple syrup out of the tree.
I thought all pancake breakfasts were the same.
Opened it up, and the first thing that came out was the blueberry smell for me. This is This is one that we previously done a beer like this. It wasn't from Ellicottville, but we had done a blueberry pancake beer. So that was one of my favorites in the past. So I'm interested to seeing how this one turns out. Blueberry strong smell, heavy bourbon flavor for me.
No go for me.
I forget the other one that we did before, but wasn't that a stout?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So this not being a stout, kind of like, or not like a darker beer, kind of surprised me. It's a little bit darker, but kind of has like that Yingling look to it more than anything, more like a darker lager than.
I'm about to change my scale back to like I'll have another or not.
Yeah. This for me is not good.
This whole dish back.
Yeah, I'll give this a 1. I mean, it's like everything from the it's like everything from this brewing company, this Ellicottville, haven't been good for me at all. I think this is like our 3rd or 4th one, and it's not. It doesn't hit me right at all.
And I mean, the last one that we had from them was the strawberry crunch bar, and that one was a miss for me. But, I'm kind of a little bummed that Steve's not here because I think this would fit his palate a little bit better. But Steve, if you try this, let us know what you think of it. Oh, go ahead, you guys. What were your ratings?
I'm gonna go 1.
Yeah, I gave it a 1.
That would just spill all over your carpet.
Right. This sat here for like a good hour and 37 minutes. Oh,
God. I'm not as bad as you guys on it. I don't hate it. It's not what I was expecting. I was expecting more of a stout, not just more of a traditional ale. I mean, it does say ale brewed on it, but I was expecting something heavier than what we got. I was expecting more like a dark ale. The carbonation is good for it. I always enjoy that. The flavor's there. The blueberry, like I said, blueberry smell, bourbon taste. Where the previous one that we had, I got the maple flavoring from it. I got, what it was supposed to be, what the name is. For me, this is more just a ale aged in bourbon barrels. I'm not getting anything else. Maybe a little bit of the smoothness from the maple syrup, but not enough.
Yeah,
I would drink another one of these. I would, just because it's a little bit of the flavor type that I like and everything. Is this one that will be in my constant rotation? No, not at all. I think I'm going to go 2.75 on this. So it's good. It's better than just about average. So if you had it, let us know what you think of this. Again, it was the Ellicottville Bourbon Barrel Aged Blueberry Maple Pancake. I've had this one waiting for a few weeks now, and I've been very excited, looking forward to this, which is why I did it. I know I have some actual liquor upstairs to make a drink for next time we're all together for my drink of the week. So I'm kind of glad I didn't do that ahead of time and save this now. Because I was kind of putting this one off last for a while because I was expecting the best from this, and I didn't get that. So, yeah, if you have this, let us know what you think. If you haven't picked this up yet, try it. I think there's some good parts of this that people would enjoy it, but unfortunately, just for the group today, it just wasn't all around.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on, we didn't really discuss this in pre-production. Are we going into sports or?
This is NFL stuff, but we can skip over it.
Okay. We can talk about that in the outro if you guys want.
Okay.
All right. Coming off of last week's One Gotta Go, which was Steve's classic kids hard candies. I kind of like giving the top two, so I'm going to give the top two for you guys, and you let me know what you think the fans voted off. The top two were Boston Baked Beans and Jawbreakers.
Gotta be Jawbreakers. Gotta be.
Jawbreakers, please.
The fans voted off Boston Baked Beans pretty much unanimously. I think
allergies or something. What's going on here?
I think that could be it. There could be some peanut allergies, and I brought this up to Donald. When I think Boston Baked Beans, like I don't think our generation candy. Like to me, that's the generation before. So I called it Boomer candy to Donald the other day. Like I don't know, like because think of like that, the wax bottles, the satellite wafers. Like that's not. I don't count those as like our candy.
I don't know about your corner stores, Chris.
They sold them. Don't get me wrong. They sold them.
Where I'm from, they were front and center.
And anybody who voted Boston Baked Beans, they had imaginary friends in their childhood, and their parents didn't love them enough. I'm sorry.
You know what's been on my timeline all this week? Hard candy, and more specifically, Jawbreakers. It was a video of them making Jawbreakers. It said it's 4 days to make a Jawbreaker. 4 days.
4 days to make trash. That's what it is.
And it takes 5 days to eat it. It's bullshit. Who picked the Jawbreaker?
It's got to be time, 5 full days. However long that takes you, but it probably takes 5 full days to eat it. That can't just be like,
But I did see the mini Jawbreakers box on that.
Okay.
One of those things that sent. So
yeah.
If I had my choice, I would choose the mini Jawbreakers over an actual like regular Jawbreaker.
I can't believe that.
So for next week's drink of the week, we're eating Jawbreakers. See who finished first.
Yeah, next time we do that run, I might have to get the Boston Baked Beans just to give them a try again.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll take us into this week. So coming off of what we had previously talked about a few weeks ago on some sandwiches, I thought, let's go into regular deli sandwiches. So we'll go deli sandwiches: turkey, roast beef, corned beef, or pastrami. This could be, everybody can eat these differently. Maybe for a turkey, you only eat a turkey Rachel. Corned beef, maybe you only do a Reuben. So however you eat it, but it just being the sandwich with these being the focus of the sandwich. Who wants to kick us off?
I don't even know what these meats are. I know turkey. If I see turkey, I'm gonna grab turkey. Everything else is just a mystery.
Have you ever had a corned beef sandwich, or not corned beef?
I'm sure I have. If it's on the table, I'm eating it. If I've had a deli platter, I'm eating it.
Reuben has usually the sauerkraut and the Thousand Island dressing on it.
Oh, I haven't had a Reuben.
Okay, because that's
but like the deli meat sandwiches. Which one's brown? Is that the corn or is it roast? They're both brown, probably.
Roast beef's darker.
Roast beef is darker, yeah.
Mm.
Roast beef got more of like a brown grayish.
Yeah, corned beef is kind of like usually has like a pinkish hue to it.
Yeah,
pastrami has like a peppered coating to it on the outside.
Okay, I know I've eaten all these because I'm going to pick up whatever sandwich is in front of me. But I'm voting off corned beef just because it sounds gross.
Corned beef
is good.
Mm-hmm. When I see all of these, I mean, I don't get like the specific sandwich, like, the Reuben and the turkey Rachel and that stuff. I just eat my sandwiches just straight with this. And with all of these, roast beef got to go for me. I love turkey. I love corned beef. And pastrami is like one of my top tier, like deli meats out. And you got that money too. You need to pay that money for that pastrami. But yeah, roast beef got to go. I can pass on that altogether.
So you get a nice little hot roast beef sandwich, a little deli mustard, a little Munster cheese melted on top of that. That's right.
Who gets hot Like, who has time for that? Just pick up the sandwich and eat the shit. Who wants to idle it?
You gotta go to like an actual place like where
Like
they
an
do
actual
deli
deli place that
sandwiches.
do that, yeah.
That-
That's gonna have to be a run sometime. That's gonna
Yeah, if Quiznos ain't heating the shit up, I'm not eating hot. Just slap my shit on the sandwich and let me go.
yeah, we gotta
Toast
take
my
you,
bread. Get the fuck out.
we gotta take you to get like an actual like real deli sandwich, like not go to the store.
Not
and buy a
the
deli
serving platters out of Giant Eagle with the
Yeah.
mix and
No,
match.
no.
No,
That's all I know.
Got to go to JJ spot.
yeah, I went to.
With JJ? Out.
He took me to the bagel factory in Squirrel Hill the other day. Man, that's good. My favorite though is like for getting a deli sandwich would be Smallman Street down the strip. Man, they are so good.
Well, let's make that trip. We can have all four.
Yeah. So actually, for me, if I'm going to like an actual deli spot, a roast beef sandwich, a corned beef sandwich, or a pastrami, I can get any of those. Rare that I would get a turkey sandwich from a deli spot, but at the same time, turkey, like whenever I'm buying lunch meat from the deli meat from like the grocery store or something, turkey is pretty much all I buy.
Yes.
You know, so it's like love turkey, but for me, whenever I'm talking like deli sandwiches, I'm thinking like where I go and actually get like a Reuben or a hot roast beef or a hot pastrami sandwich. I'm never getting turkey. So just for that, even though I like turkey and everything, a turkey sandwich can go for me on this list. Because a Reuben is one of my favorite sandwiches. While I don't really enjoy the corned beef just by itself, like a regular sandwich, but as a Reuben, corned beef is delicious as a Reuben.
I've never been to a deli. I'm just not realizing that.
Yeah. It's going to have to change.
Yeah.
It's going to be life-changing.
It is.
But I know
Nah,
we're going to go to this, and he's going to look at me and go like, I could have made this shit at home.
Pretty much. Pretty much, yes.
I could have got this shit in Braddock.
Could have got the order, yeah. Go. I mean, go to a
Yep.
deli place like Artistry. It is.
Oh, artistry. I thought you said Arby's. I was about to come through my screen.
Artistry.
And it's different because, and I'm gonna specify this too. Like if you go and if I say I go to the deli like Smallman Street and I get a hot roast beef sandwich and I eat it there, magical. If I get that hot roast beef sandwich and then I'm driving it home afterwards, not as magical. You know, because it had time to cool, you know, it isn't set perfect, you know. So if we go somewhere, we're going and we're eating there.
Oh.
You know, we're not giving some like taking it back somewhere and taking it home. Like we're gonna give you the full experience. And
Sounds good to me. I'm game. I'm game.
all right, guys, let's get into final thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for tuning to episode 98 of the Dumb Marks podcast. As we mentioned earlier, we just keep ticking up there. Tune in a couple weeks. We're going to be having our 100th episode, and stay tuned as we celebrate our second anniversary shortly. That'll be around the corner before you know it. You can listen to the Dumb Marks podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. Visit dumbmarkspod.com for all the links and more. Support the show by telling a friend about us and purchasing our merchandise at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and TikTok and our Twitch channels and all our social media at dumbmarkspod. Guys, anything else for final thoughts before we wrap up the show today?
I want to say shout out to my sister for buying me this. She went to Vegas, and this is all I got.
World's okayest brother, huh?
World's okayest brother. So I pulled it out the bag, and I was pulling it by the sleeve, and it came out this way, or it came out this way, or whichever way. And I'm sitting there reading it as it goes, and I'm like, it's like world's. I'm like, hold on, what? Oh, okayest. Okay. Where are you going with this? I'm like, world's okayest, brother. What are you doing? Like, why would you do me like this?
Just say you telling us something today, or I'm surprised it wasn't like World's Okayest Uncle or something like that too.
My mind was racing. Like I was
Yeah.
worlds, yada yada. World's gayest brother. What?
And we're cut off.
Nobody listens to us anyways.
Just have one gaming thing real quick. I didn't put it in the group chat, but Sony's thinking about upping the price on the PS5. So from upping. So instead of $499, talking about possibly going to $599.
Why?
And the reason for this because of the semiconductor chips shortage still. You know, they're losing money on stuff, so they're thinking about upping the price. Just thinking about it, but they didn't deny it either. So we'll see. Because I know the Oculus is also moving up in price. That's guaranteed. So even
it already went up.
Yeah. So the Oculus that came out 2 years ago is moving up $100 to $500, and the other one is moving up to $600. So it seems like electronics now, like you know how when tech gets older, tech gets cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like when tech gets older, tech is starting to move up in price now.
Everything's going up.
Yeah. So
It'll be
again,
interesting because sometimes in technology that whenever instead of going up in price, you know, if the chip changes, they just discontinue and move on to a different product too. So
yeah. So Sony's thinking there's talks about it. It's not mandatory, just talks, but they're not denying it either.
Oculus already did it, so there's that. They started the trend. Next thing you know, they're going to pay $80 for video games.
Yep. Oh, there was a whole thing about this week on that, and that's a separate podcast by itself. There's a big debate about that $70, you know, being the base pay for this generation now. But again, another time.
where's the PS5 Slim at? It doesn't even seem like they're working on this because
you got to get the first one out first. You got
to get the original stuff out first before you even talk about why they talking about the Pro before they talk about a Slim.
That's what I was going to say. I know they've been talking about the advanced system, you know, before a Slim. It's just like usually you get what PS5's been out 2 years?
It'll be going on 2 years.
It's like
keep
usually
on
by this
pushing
point
accessories.
you hear about the
Who's
Slim.
buying this shit?
Yeah.
You got all these
just like Jason said, you got all these accessories, but you have no consoles. People can't buy accessories if there's nothing to play it on.
Unless you got the first joystick that keeps breaking. You got to buy a new version.
And you did talk about the chip shortage, and I know that even in my work industry, that's been a big problem for a lot of stuff. And that's probably just general why PS5 shortages happen. But I'm really surprised that there isn't more, you know, because the PS5 has the one that is discompatible and then just digital only. I'm surprised we don't see the digital only one come out more, like more of that being made. That's just an observation, but
for me personally, I'm a disc guy. I need the physical copy. Like I got that.
But I've been seeing a lot of Xbox Series X's on the shelf lately. Like there's been a lot of those coming in. So Microsoft is doing something that Sony's not doing.
Making systems.
You're probably making that chip. I mean, that is a big issue in the world, not even just for technology, just in general. Like even talk about car shortages, just because how much cars rely on these chips these days too. So
yeah. They said they got the cars made, but they just sit because they don't got the chips to fire up the computers.
And then you introduce the bundle for the Sony.
Oh yeah.
How you want to have a bundle and still can't get the regulars?
Yeah.
Just to charge you extra money.
That's it. Yeah, because they got the PS5s that I seen with the Horizon Forbidden West in it. Yeah, so they're already bundling games together with the system, which is shocking. Which you really don't see until like midway.
Until it's discontinued about to leave.
Yeah, about to leave. You really don't see that stuff like that. That's just something's going on. Yeah, but there was a lot of gaming news that happened this week. It's just way too much and too extent to talk about. You know, just in like real short clip segments.
Oh, we had time today.
Yeah, not getting into the but one of the topics overall was gaming is down like completely this year, and then they was wondering why is gaming down, and for the short of it, like a lot of companies, like their development time, they don't have enough development time to put stuff out, so there's not that many games coming out. That's why gaming is down. Yeah, then with the stuff going on, people's not spending money on gaming. Gaming is like, an accessory. Yeah. Yeah. You need food and you need gas more than you need video games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I am surprised though. Like I could understand, buying the games and everything. Like I can get that, but that extra gaming's just down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I'm surprised like people aren't taking advantage of what they have or doing other stuff. But maybe just with restrictions being lifted so much this year, maybe that's why people are getting out more than.
Mm-hmm.
But gamers never went out before, so
they said mainly it's new games. People want new games that they keep rehashing, like remakes or remasters of old games that people already bought and people already playing. They want something new and fresh.
And then our store, I just sent back like 4 hot titles. Well, Madden is due because the
new one's coming
out. But Madden usually stays around till how long did we have that Aaron Rodgers Madden? We probably still got
5 years.
We probably still got it. But like we sent Returnal. That's a fairly new game. And 2 other games just sent them straight back. Like they pulled them from the shelf.
And I think the reason they pulled in was because of the PlayStation Plus services.
Okay.
Because they're already on the extra. So, why buy the disc when you just could buy it on the service?
Yeah. Why buy the service when you ain't putting out shit?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Or just sell it from the warehouse when people actually want it.
Mm-hmm. So it's a bigger topic for discussion with that.
Maybe after dark.
Okay. Anything else?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll wrap things up with a quote of the week, and I'll say the quote of the week, and I'll explain why this is it.
To be the man, you got to be the
man. 2 weeks in a row.
One day.
Originality is the fine art of remembering what you hear, but forgetting where you heard it. I'm pretty sure I'm the opposite of that I just forget everything that I hear. I saw that this week because I was like, that's my memory. Like my memory is so terrible anymore.
I came up with that. No, I heard it somewhere.
It's like people can tell me something and then it's like I swear the next couple of days it's just like, oh yeah, like I was thinking about that, but like no, like got that completely wrong. Like, didn't remember how they told me it. So with that, thanks for tuning in to episode 98 of the Dubmarks podcast. Hopefully next week, Steve will be back on. I know he had between being sick this week and some stuff going on at his house. Probably just didn't have the time this morning, unfortunately, to join us. So hopefully we'll be back in full force next Saturday for episode 99 and your normal Saturday morning brunch bunch. So until next time.
I need my billing.
So until next time, guys, have a great week.